July 5th, 1969, 0040. The Vallejo Police Department's phone rang. A cold voice. I shot 2 people at Blue Rock Springs. Last December, I also killed 2 teenagers on Lake Herman Road. In the following weeks, encrypted letters poured into newspapers. One contained a bloody shirt piece. Signature, Zodiac. 5 confirmed victims. A 340-character cipher unsolved for 51 years. Until 2020. The message was blood-chilling. I like killing people. Then, in 2021, one name emerged. Gary Francis Poste. But what if we're focusing on the wrong person and Zodiac is still alive? In this video, you'll see a timeline pieced together end to end for the first time, from police records to letters, from cipher breaking to witness statements, and at the finale, disturbing to some of you, we'll put one possibility on the table. First murders. Terror begins. December 20th, 1968. Vallejo, California. A cold winter night. David Arthur Faraday, 17 years old. Vallejo high school student. Plays on the basketball team, loved by his friends. Betty Lou Jensen, 16 years old. Hogan high school student. On their first date that night, David drove his blue 1961 Rambler to Lake Herman Road, the deserted road between Benicia and Vallejo, a known meeting place for young couples. Darkness had fallen. No one was around. Music was playing on the radio. Around 11 p.m., taillights approached, an unknown vehicle. The attacker got out of the car. David tried to open the door. He had no chance. Single shot to the head, died instantly. Betty bolted from the vehicle in panic, started running, couldn't see where she was running in the darkness. She managed to run 28 meters. The attacker coldly followed her, shot her 5 times in the back. .22 caliber bullet, small but effective. The couple who found the bodies the next day was shocked. 2 young people in the spring of their lives. Police began investigating, but there were no clues, no witnesses. The attacker's identity was unknown. Was this just a crazy attacker or part of a bigger plan? They would learn the answer horrifyingly 7 months later. July 4th, 1969. Blue Rock Springs Park, Vallejo. Independence Day celebrations had just ended. Michael Majot, 19 years old, works at Arthur Lee Allen's Sporting Goods. He was free that night. Darlene Farron, 22 years old, waitress at Terry's restaurant, married but living separately, has a 4-year-old son. Darlene was using her own car, brown Corvair. Michael was sitting beside her, 0010. They came to the parking area. Other couples were there too, but far away. At 0015, a white Chevrolet Corvair approached, stopped next to them. The attacker got out of the car, tall, between 5 feet 9 inches to 5 feet 11 inches, had a flashlight. He pointed the flashlight at Michael's face, then at Darlene. Said nothing. Michael, what does this guy want? Darlene was silent, as if she recognized this man. The attacker returned to his car. Michael was relieved. But the attacker was coming back. This time he had a gun in his hand. No warning, no conversation. Opened fire directly. Darlene was shot in the chest, died instantly. Michael was wounded in the arm and neck, but he was alive. He survived by playing dead. This time, there was a witness. Michael could describe the attacker. The attacker got in his car and left, revving the engine hard, screeching tires. 40 minutes later, the truly horrifying happened. First phone call and Zodiac's birth. July 5th, 1969, 0040. The Vallejo Police Department's phone rang. Nancy Slover, the night shift operator, answered the phone. Slover. Vallejo Police Department. Voice. I shot 2 people at Blue Rock Springs. 6 months ago, I also killed 2 teenagers on Lake Herman Road. The voice was cold, monotone, almost robotic. There was no emotion. Slover. What is your name, sir? But the line had been cut. While the center tried to verify the location and weapon type given by the call, the line stayed open for only 60 seconds. This phone call changed everything, because the attacker knew Lake Herman Road details. Details not given to the media. It was the same person. and more was coming. August 1st, 1969. 3 newspapers received letters simultaneously: San Francisco Chronicle, Vallejo Times-Herald, San Francisco Examiner. Each letter contained a part of the same encrypted message. Total 408 characters. The beginning of the letter read, "Dear editor, I want you to put this cipher on the front page of your newspapers. If you don't do this, I will start hunting people who walk alone on Friday night." The cipher was complex: symbols, numbers, letters, a mixture of visible and invisible. "If you solve this cipher, you will learn the killer's identity," it said. The newspapers didn't dare publish this cipher. It seemed too risky. On August 8th, Donald Hardin and his wife Betty managed to solve the cipher. The teacher couple living in Salinas worked for 20 hours. The solved message was blood-chilling. "I like killing people because it is so much fun. It is more fun than killing wild game in the forest because man is the most dangerous animal. Killing a man gives me the most thrilling experience. I will use those I kill as slaves in paradise." But the killer hadn't given his name. Instead, he added this: "I will not give you my name because you will try to catch me." This first cipher was solved, but the truly horrifying hadn't come yet. But on October 11th, 1969, a murder committed in the city center would change everything. Lake Berryessa and Paul Stine, mask and shirt, September 27th, 1969. Lake Berryessa, Napa County. A sunny Saturday, Brian Calvin Hartnell, 20 years old, Pacific Union College student, planning to study law. Cecilia Ann Shepard, 22 years old, transferred from Riverside City College, studying psychology, 6:30 p.m. They were having a picnic by the lakeshore, sitting on a blanket, watching the sunset. A man approached from afar. His walk was strange, coming with heavy steps. When he approached, Brian was shocked. The man had a black mask on his face, holes cut for eyes, white symbol on the mask, circle with cross. He had a pistol in his hand. "I'm an escaped convict," he said in a monotone voice. "I just want your car and money. I won't hurt you." Brian tried to stay calm. "Okay, we can give you everything you want." The attacker pulled out plastic clothesline. He tied up Brian, then Cecilia. "That's enough," said Brian. "Take the car and go." But the attacker was lying. He pulled out a knife from his side, 10-inch hunting knife. He stabbed Brian in the back 6 times, Cecilia 10 times. Cecilia was still alive. "Help!" she screamed. The attacker left without finishing his work. He wrote on Brian's car door with a black felt-tip pen, "Vallejo 12, 2068 7469, September 2769, 6:30 by knife." Below, the same symbol, circle with cross. This message was very important. It connected all the attacks. Brian lived, but Cecilia died in the hospital. 7:40 p.m. A phone call came to Napa County Sheriff. "I killed 2 people at Lake Berryessa tonight. You'll read the details in tomorrow's newspapers." Same cold voice, same tone, same man. October 11th, 1969, Saturday night. San Francisco. Paul Lee Stine, 29 years old, studying English literature at San Francisco State University. Driving a taxi at night to pay for school expenses, working for Yellow Cab Company. Blue Yellow Taxi, number 6913, 9:45 p.m. He picked up a passenger from Union Square. "You need to go to Nob Hill," said the passenger. Middle-aged white male, calm, speaking politely. Paul drove toward Mason Street, but the passenger changed the route. "Go to the corner of Cherry Street and Washington Street." At 9:55 p.m., they stopped in Presidio Heights, luxury residential area. The passenger reached to pay the fare. At that moment, he shot Paul in the head with a 9mm pistol, single shot. Paul died instantly. The attacker took Paul's wallet, keys, cut and tore off the lower left corner of his shirt. He started cleaning the taxi, wiped fingerprints with a cloth. But someone was watching. 3 people from the apartment across saw the incident: Donald Fook, Eric Zelms, Armand Pellicetti. They immediately called police. The attacker is escaping on foot. Police acted immediately, but a critical mistake was made. The first announcement said, "We're looking for a black male." Wrong information. 2 police cars passed right by Zodiac, who was a white male. A single wrong description on police radio may have caused the killer to pass by and escape. Zodiac escaped. They lost his trail. Encrypted Letters and Psychology of Fear, October 13th, 1969. A letter arrived at San Francisco Chronicle. "I'm the one who killed Paul Stine. I'm including a piece of shirt as proof. The police are very slow and stupid. I passed by them, but they couldn't see me." He used this signature for the first time. Zodiac. The game had begun with this letter. November 9th, 1969. The second cipher arrived. 340 characters. This cipher was much more complex than the first. The symbols couldn't be identified at all. Below was a horrifying threat. "I will bomb the school bus. Most likely I will hit the gas tank. This will stop the bus. Then I will shoot the children one by one as they try to escape." This threat plunged San Francisco into panic. School administration held an emergency meeting. All school buses were given police escorts. Children were scared. Families hesitated to send their children to school. Zodiac had achieved exactly what he wanted. Fear. December 20th, 1969. Letter. "Dear Melvin, San Francisco Police Chief, this is Zodiac speaking. If you don't treat me with more respect, I'll start doing very ugly things. You will address me as Zodiac letter to Melvin Belly. Dear Melvin, this is Zodiac speaking. All I want is help. I can't stop killing people. I'm losing control." This letter was different. There was desperation, not fear. June 26th, 1970. The most terrifying letter. "This is Zodiac speaking. I have killed 5 people in these 12 months. The newspapers only know about 5. At the end he wrote, "SFPD equals 0, Zodiac equals 7. Were there 7 victims? Or was it a bluff?" The letters repeated human hunting metaphor, counting numbers, and "I won't be caught" emphasis. Every letter drove the police crazier. Zodiac was mocking them. "You are too slow," he wrote. "I am very smart. Suspects, strong names but missing evidence." The Zodiac investigation became one of the biggest cold cases in American history. More than 2,500 suspects were interrogated. Thousands of tips came in, but none produced concrete results. Arthur Lee Allen, primary suspect, born 1933, living in Vallejo, former schoolteacher. Strong evidence, wore a Zodiac brand watch, source of the word Zodiac. Handwriting resembled. Physical description matched. 5 feet 11 inches height, strong build, knew the area very well. Used to hunt, Michael Mageau identified him from a photo, strongest evidence. Statement from his friend Ron Allen in Vallejo. "Arthur once told me, I'm going to hunt people for sport. He said he would call himself Zodiac." This statement was given in 1969 before the first letters. Counter evidence. DNA didn't match. 2002 test. Fingerprints didn't match. Some dates don't match. At work in Napa during Lake Berryessa. Handwriting experts don't say definitive match. Allen died in 1992. His house was searched in 2007, but no definitive evidence was found. Lawrence Larry Kane, second strong suspect, born 1937. A salesman with a history of traumatic brain injury. Strong points. Physical description fit, lived in the area, had knowledge of astrology, partially matched witness descriptions. Weak points. No verified evidence linking him directly to scenes was published. DNA test results not disclosed. Age profile doesn't quite match. Kane died in 2010. He was never interrogated. Richard Gaikowski, third suspect, born 1936, journalist, lived in San Francisco. Voice analysis came back positive, Zodiac phone recordings, used Zodiac letters, psychology profile matched, but there was no definitive evidence. Earl Van Best Jr., Fourth suspect, born 1946, Gary Stewart's father. Stewart wrote a book in 2014. Handwriting similarity. Could draw the Zodiac symbol. Lived in San Francisco, but age too young, 23 years old. Physical description doesn't match. There were hundreds more suspects: Jack Tarrance, Donald Lee Bujak, Robert Ivan Nichols. But none were definitive. Zodiac seemed invisible. Every clue that would catch him would disappear. But when technology changed, one name was rekindled. 2020 solution and Gary Francis Poste's claim. December 11, 2020. History was made. David Oranchak, software engineer, Jarl van Eyck, Belgian mathematics expert, and Sam Blake, Australian cipher expert, a three-person amateur team achieved the impossible. After 51 years, the 340-character cipher was solved. How did they solve it? Oranchak had developed a program called AZ Decrypt. This program tried millions of combinations. Van Eyck developed mathematical models. Blake studied old encryption techniques. After 600,000 hours of computer work, the answer came. The message: I hope you are having lots of fun in trying to catch me. I like killing people because it is so much fun. It is more fun than killing wild game in the forest because man is the most dangerous animal. I will use my victims as slaves in paradise because there will be no better life in paradise than the one I killed. I will not give you my name because you will try to catch me. After 51 years, the cipher was solved, but the killer's identity was still hidden. But 6 months later, everything would change. May 2021. The Casebreakers, a 40-person amateur detective group, made a shocking claim. The Zodiac killer is Gary Francis Poste. Who was Gary Francis Poste? Born 1931. An 87-year-old man who died in 2018. House painter, but also leader of a violent gang. Evidence found by the Casebreakers. Physical evidence. Forehead scars match Donald Fuchs' Stine murder witness description. Height, weight, age profile, exact match. Photo comparison, positive correspondence evidence. Handwriting similarity exists. Letters in Gary Francis Poste used in Zodiac ciphers. Anagram games point to post-regional connections. Knew all murder areas. Lived near Vallejo in 1969. Used to hunt strongest evidence. Poste's gang may have killed Cherry Joe Bates in 1966. Zodiac had also claimed this murder. The Casebreakers presented their findings to the FBI, but the FBI did not confirm this claim. If this man isn't it, why do so many clues point to him? FBI's silence and the disturbing possibility. Since 2021, there has been no official statement from the FBI. Is this normal? The FBI generally goes silent on cold cases, especially when the suspect is dead, evidence is not definitive, investigation is ongoing. Was Gary Francis Poste the real Zodiac? Strong points. Physical resemblance is strong. Age group exactly matches. Regional knowledge exists. Handwriting resembles weak points. DNA test couldn't be performed because he's dead. No FBI confirmation. Fingerprint match not disclosed. No definitive evidence. Paul, what's the most likely name to you? A. Arthur Lee Allen. B. Gary Francis Poste. C. Someone else? Vote in the comments. What happened to Zodiac? 3 hypotheses. Hypothesis 1. Died. Most likely scenario. Letters stopped after 1974. Gary Francis Poste or someone else. Hypothesis 2. Went to prison, got sentenced for another crime. That's why the letters stopped. Identity still unknown. Hypothesis 3. Still alive, most terrifying possibility. Would be 80+ years old today, could still be among us. Which hypothesis is correct? The promised disturbing possibility at the finale is this. If it's not Gary Francis Poste and Zodiac is still alive, this video could be content that he's also watching. Maybe he's reading these lines right now. Maybe he's examining the comments. Maybe he's seeing how hidden his true identity has remained. For For 55 years, no one has been able to catch him. Maybe he never will be. But one thing is certain, Zodiac's legacy continues. America's most famous unsolved murder. Don't forget to subscribe. If there are new developments about Zodiac, you'll be the first to know. Because this story isn't over yet, and maybe it never will be. This video is based on available evidence and publicly available information. No person has been officially declared as the Zodiac killer.